Hello Story Detectives, and this is video 4 for week 5. Okay, now this is a story that I've picked just to read. We haven't got any worksheets attached to this story. This is just for fun. But it's called Boo to a Goose. So I hope you can tell why I picked it, because it's following in our theme with the geese. Now, boo to a goose is an idiom. It's a phrase that means that you're a bit shy. If you wouldn't say boo to a goose, it means, wouldn't do anything that requires you to be a bit brave or a little bit confident. You're very sort of shy and you hold back. So this book is based on the idiom boo to a goose, and it's by the author Mem Fox, who is an Australian author, and there's definitely a few clues in the story that she's from Australia. And it's illustrated by David Miller, and he's got this beautiful style of illustration that we will look at as we go along. So just relax and enjoy the story. There aren't any worksheets associated with this one. Boo to a Goose by Mem Fox and David Miller. I dance with a pig in a shiny green wig, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. Now let's just have a look at the illustration here. We have got this picture of a pig, but this part of the picture, it looks like a photograph of green tinsel. So it's a very unusual, it's like a collage. There may be a special name for this, and I will try and find out if I can, if there is a special name for how you do this illustration, but it's part photograph and part picture. So have a listen, can you hear the rhyme in this? I dance with a pig in a shiny green wig, so those words rhyme, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. That's our idiom. That basically means I'm shy. I'm shy, but I would dance with a pig in a green wig. I'd ride on a roo to Kalamazoo, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. Now remember I said Mem Fox was from Australia. Well, she's got us a lovely picture here of a kangaroo, which are also from Australia. And there's this little character sitting on the kangaroo going all the way to Kalamazoo. See the rhyme there, roo and Kalamazoo. But I wouldn't say boo to a goose. I dive from a mountain right into a fountain, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. Now let's have a look at this picture here. Isn't this wonderful? This is like part illustration, and then this looks like a photograph of bits of plastic all torn and decorated like that, so that it looks like he's diving into water. And then if you look at this picture of the mountain, see, it looks almost 3D. He's got layers like a collage of different, looks like different pieces of paper all stuck on top of one another. So it looks like the tree is coming out of the picture for us. So did we see the rhyme there? We had the mountain and fountain. So there we go. I'd play with a snake if I found one awake, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. Now that's a bit of a strange thing to say, that you'd play with a snake, but you wouldn't say boo to a goose. I think I'd rather say boo to a goose than play with a snake. Now have a look at this. This almost looks like this snake is made of wood. It's like he's got his scales, almost looks like it's carved from a piece of wood. And then around it, we've got some photographs, I think, of these dominoes. So that's interesting. So it's like a photograph again with them drawing all together like a collage. And our rhyme, let's have a look. I'd play with a snake if I found one awake. There we go. Oh, now this one is a bit yucky. Listen to this. I'd gobble up snails from smelly grey pails, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. Now, I certainly don't think I would like to eat snails that were in a pail. A pail is another word for a bucket. Now, if you look at these, way he's done these pictures, again, it's like a collage. It's like he's got these cutouts of the snail and then a drawn shell. And then when you look at the picture of the pail, the bucket, it's really got a texture on it, like it's a piece of fabric. So can we see the rhyme there? We've got snails and pails. I'd take a long walk from here to New York, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. Now look at this amazing picture. Again, it's like it's 3D. It's like these pictures are jumping out of the page. We can tell it's New York there because we've got the Statue of Liberty and all these skyscrapers. And if you look at this path, again, it looks almost like you can touch it, like it's 3D. So he's got a layer of sort of green above this pale yellow to make it look like the path. I'd swim with a whale without going pale, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. Now let's have a look at this picture. This looks like he's got lots of wavy pieces of blue card, and he's lined them up, and he's tucked the picture of the whale inside them. Isn't that lovely? And it looks like he's got a little boy sort of tucked in amongst those waves. And if you look at the whale here, where he's squirting water out of his head, that's like the picture of the fountain on the other page. He's used those bits of what looks like plastic to represent the water. So the rhyming words here were whale and pale. And that's not the same kind of pale that we had on the other page. Let's have a look. So there's the word pale. And here's the word pales. They sound the same. They're homophones. They sound the same, but they're completely different meanings and spellings. This kind of pale is a bucket. And this kind of pale is when you go very sort of white in the face if you're worried or scared about something. So he's saying he would swim with a whale without going pale. So he'd swim with a whale without going white in the face. But he still wouldn't say boo to a goose. I'd feed my pyjamas to giant piranhas. Well, that's a funny thing to do. But I wouldn't say boo to a goose. Now let's have a close look here. It looks like these are real teeth, doesn't it? He's got these piranhas. Maybe he's made them out of cardboard. And then it looks like he's fastened through these pajamas and then maybe taken a picture of them. I'm not sure how he's done it, but it's very clever. Almost looks 3D. And let's have a look at the rhyme. Pajamas and piranhas. Yep, they rhyme. They still wouldn't say boo to a goose. I'd walk down the street with balloons on my feet, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. Now this is a lovely picture. So we've got him floating up there in the air with those balloons on his feet. And it really looks like string, doesn't it? It looks like maybe he's taken a photograph of some string and put it around those pictures. And the street, look at the way he's layered it here. Again, we've got that lovely 3D effect. It looks like the pictures are actually coming out of the page. And again, I think that's some sort of collage technique. It's very cute how he's done that. But he still wouldn't say boo to a goose. Oh, this one's funny. I dye my hair yellow and make Nana bellow. So look at this. He's dyed his hair yellow. Wait till you see his Nana. Whoa, look at this. So he's drawn her face. She certainly doesn't look very impressed at that yellow hair. But look at her own hair. This to me looks like little bits of rolls of paper. Maybe when they've been shredded through a shredding machine and they've gone all thin and then they've sort of curled up. So it looks as if he's used those as a photograph that he's put on top of the picture to make this sort of collage effect. So I dye my hair yellow and make Nana bellow, they rhyme, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. I'd walk on my knees past a hive full of bees, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. Oh, now look at how he's done these bees. He's done these like collages. To me, it looks like they're all wearing a pair of sunglasses. And then he's got these thin wings that he's cut out and put over the top so you can see through them. They're like translucent. You can see right through them. And then he's got these lovely pictures of the stripy bees underneath. I'd eat all the butter from here to Calcutta, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. So let's have a look at the rhyme there, butter and Calcutta. Calcutta's a city in India, and he's saying he'd walk all the way there, let's assume from Australia, all the way to India, eating butter. Now look how he's drawn this butter. To me it looks as though he's made little cubes out of yellow card, stacked them all up and then taken a photograph. So it looks like a huge mountain of butter. I don't think I could eat all that. It make me feel sick. But he would rather do that than say boo to a goose. No, this is my favourite one. This is very silly. Got these people here in a town. It looks like they're sitting on a bench, maybe waiting for a bus. Again, this lovely collage effect where he's got like different layers to make it look 3D. And he's got, I'd skip across town with my pants hanging down. Oh dear, look at him with his pants hanging down. but I wouldn't say boo to a goose. So he'd rather do that than say boo to a goose. I do all these things quite bravely, you see, but I wouldn't say boo to a goose or 3 because. Now let's have a look at these geese here again. How beautiful are these illustrations? It looks like it's he's made a goose out of paper and then taken a photograph. Look at the detail of all the feathers there. He's got 3 geese here. A goose once said boo to me. Oh dear, so he's obviously had a fright by a big goose at some point. What, goose don't say boo, do they? They honk. In the Katerina story they said whack whack. But in this, it's obviously frightened him and he is never going to say boo to a goose. He'd rather do all these funny things. So there he is at the end. Let's have a quick look back. So look at all the things that he would rather do than say boo to a goose. Dance with a pig in a shiny green wig. Ride on a roo to Kalamazoo. Dive from a mountain into a fountain. Play with a snake if you found one awake. Gobble up snails from smelly green pails. Ugh. Take a long walk to hear from New York. I think we missed that rhyme. Walk to York, they rhyme. Swim with a whale without going pale. He'd feed his pajamas to giant piranhas. He'd walk down the street with balloons on his feet. I think I missed that one as well. Street and feet rhyme. I'd dye my hair yellow and make Nana bellow. He'd walk through his knees through a hive full of bees. Knees and bees rhyme. And he'd eat all the butter from here to Calcutta. He'd even skip across town with his pants hanging down. Town and down rhyme. He'd do all that, but he wouldn't say boo to a goose because a goose once said boo to me. The end. That was Boo to a Goose by Mem Fox and David Miller. Now that's the last of our videos for this week. So please do drop me a line if you have any problems downloading the worksheets. I can always email them to you. And yes, I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next week for week 6 of Story Detectives. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.